Real Nerds is a proud partner of the Denver Podcast Network. In the shadow of the mountains,
we speak.
You're listening to Denver Orbit, featuring voices.
I'm going to give you an awkwardly long and uncomfortable list of reasons why you shouldn't shave outside.
Stories.
Now, he was very outspoken about the effects of war on himself.
And music from Colorado's creative community. Listen at denverorbit.com or on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, or most other podcast apps.
Oh, hi, podcast listeners. There's many ways you can listen to the Real Nerds podcast. You can subscribe on iTunes. You can also subscribe on Stitcher Radio. You want to send us a Twitter message? You can do that. It's so easy, at Real Nerds. Like us on Facebook, Real Nerds Podcast. You can visit our website, realnerdspodcast.com, where there'll be a lot of articles for you to not only read, but to listen to our previous shows. You can also call us, 720-6NERDS5. Thanks for listening, and enjoy the show.
Hi, this is Jonathan Tiersten from the Perfect House and Sleepaway Camp, and you are listening to the Real Nerds Podcast.
Welcome to Real Nerds Podcast, unofficially the official podcast of Denver Pop Culture Con 2020 and beyond. I'm your host, Brad, and this week I'm joined by
Zach
for another
Brad and Zach ruin the show.
Infamously terrible episode.
This is horrible. You guys don't want to be here. Like, just turn off your fucking episode and just go find something else. How did this get made? Must have a great episode this week. Why aren't you listening to them?
This week we watched Child's Play and Annabelle. What's the subtitle on this one?
Annabelle Comes Home.
Okay.
Annabelle's
memorable.
Annabelle's Roundup.
Yeah.
Annabelle's Rodeo. Creepy doll double feature on the show today.
A lot of doll movies these past 2 weeks.
I know. Toy Story, Child's Play, Annabelle.
Yeah.
If I don't get a Charlie McCarthy movie soon, I'm going to sue somebody. But we also talk about other things on this show. It's not just us being boring assholes.
Yeah, we talk about movie news, Blu-ray 4K releases, what we've been watching.
There's nothing in Blu-rays this week. I'll spoil that right now.
And also, there's a recurring segment from Corinne that we forgot last week, but I managed to splice it in on the fly. But this week...
On the fly.
Don't
ever say on the fly again, please.
Reminds me of The Fly when I say it like that.
You know what I am? I'm on Jeff Goldblum. That's what I am. I'm on Jeff Goldblum. Not The Fly, Jeff Goldblum.
And we've got another recurring segment. This one's Catching the Classics by Corinne, where she's focusing on the classics of Miyazaki. And this week, she's talking about Ponyo.
Hey nerds, Corinne here for part 20.7 of Catching the Classics, which is actually part 7 of Catching the Miyazaki Classics, where I'm going through all of the films that have been directed by Hayao Miyazaki. This week, I tackled the one that you all like to say is the one for babies, and that is Ponyo, or sometimes called, I think it's like Ponyo on the Cliff or something like that. But anyway, so oh my gosh, this movie is just freaking beautiful. It's just so well animated and oh my gosh. Anyway, so this is one of the Miyazaki movies I had seen previously, although it had been a while, and actually I've seen Nostalgia Critic's review of Ponyo more than I've seen the actual movie. So going back and rewatching it, I was like, oh dang, and I just kept thinking of like all the Nostalgia Critic jokes and comments that he makes about different parts of the movie. But okay, so a quick synopsis. Ponyo is a goldfish mermaid sort of thing. It's a goldfish, but she has the face of a human, and she escapes from her like evil wizard dad, Fujimoto, who like lives underwater, and she goes to the surface and she forms this connection with this little boy Sosuke. And then her dad is looking for her and eventually finds her and takes her back to the ocean. And she's like, no, I want to go back to the surface world. I want to be with Sosuke. And then she eventually breaks free and goes back to the surface world and tries to become a human and live with Sosuke. And anyway, it's freaking adorable. And it's very Little Mermaid. And I know that for a fact because Hayao Miyazaki has said that he kind of developed the film after he saw Disney's The Little Mermaid adaptation. And there are a couple of references to the original Hans Christian Andersen. There's some line in there about if Ponyo, like, because she, you know, she's supposed to be this sea creature, but she wants to be human, and by living in the human world, she throws things out of balance. And her parents, Fujimoto, and who's played by Liam Neeson, and the Goddess of Mercy, who's voiced by Cate Blanchett, try to put things into balance, and they say that if Ponyo, can't live in the human world, she'll turn into sea foam, which I was like, oh yeah, that's from the Hans Christian Andersen version. This is a pretty good voice cast. You got Liam Neeson, Cate Blanchett, you got two kids who are voicing Ponyo and Sosuke. I think it's Frankie Jonas is the voice of Sosuke, and I can't remember her name, but she voices Ponyo. And Matt Damon and Tina Fey are in it as well. Betty White is in it. Cloris Leachman's in it. This is a really good voice cast. So that aspect of the movie is solid. And as I said, the animation on this is just holy shit. Like, it is. I thought, like I said, I've seen this movie before, and I don't remember it being so beautifully animated. But holy jeez. Whenever, like, Ponyo is, like, coming out of the ocean the second time, and she's, like, running around and trying to get back to Sosuke, and there's this whole, like, Ride of the Valkyries type of thing going on with her and her sisters, which, like I said, that was another thing that was, like, oh, she has sisters and no brothers, just like Ariel and the Little Mermaid, so that was kind of cute, but, yeah, it's, that whole freaking sequence is just gorgeous. This whole movie is gorgeous. Everybody should go watch it. I know the nerds like to put it down because it's for babies, but it really, yes, it is definitely more directed to kids. The two main characters are like 5 years old, and they definitely feel and talk like 5-year-olds, which on the one hand is a little bit annoying sometimes, and on the other hand, it's like, well, I mean, I wouldn't expect 5-year-olds to act and talk like, 17-year-olds, so, I mean, it's appropriate. So I think little kids would really like this movie. Maybe, I don't know, it probably depends on the kid, but I think adults would just appreciate the animation that went into this. It's just, it's so beautiful. And I haven't really talked a lot about Joe Hisaishi in this series, but he's the composer on like almost all of these Hayao Miyazaki movies that I'm talking about. And holy shit, does he pull out all the stops for this movie. Every single song on, like, that comes up in the movie is like, oh geez. Like, it just puts you right in. There's like a 3 to 5 minute sequence at the very beginning of the movie where there's no dialogue. It's just the visuals and it's the music. And it really puts you into the world, and it's this fantastical, but it's also kind of like an earthly sort of thing, because yes, this kind of, a lot of it takes place like on land in the real world with like cars and phones and radios and stuff like that. But so much of the movie has this like fantastical undertone because you've got like Fujimoto, the wizard, and you've got a goddess of mercy, and you've got fish who can use magic and all sorts of fun stuff. So, is there anything bad about the movie? Like I said, the two lead characters are kids, and there are a couple of times where you're just like, okay, let's kind of keep moving here. Because there's a sequence about, I want to say 2/3 of the way through the movie where it's the two kids and Sosuke's mom, who's voiced by Tina Fey. They're at home, and they're riding out this storm, and there's just like a 10 or 15 minute sequence of them just doing regular kind of household things of eating food, turning on the generator, calling some guy on the radio. Some guy, it's Sosuke's dad. But anyway, And it's like, okay, this is like, it's kind of nice because it's a nice little character beat, but at the same time, it's a lot of time spent with tiny children. So you're like, okay, let's just kind of keep moving this along here. And I do have to agree with Nostalgia Critic that Sosuke's mom is kind of the worst. She's not like a bad person, but there are just a lot of things that she does that are very annoying, and you're like, oh my gosh, like, why would a parent ever do that? Like, she abandons 2 kids in the middle of a storm, 5-year-olds at that, 2 5-year-olds in the middle of a storm to go help the old people, and you're like, oh my gosh, no! Stay with the children! Jeez Louise, lady. And yeah, her driving is atrocious, so that's probably the biggest complaints I have about the movie, is that there are kids, there are a couple of times where they're a little annoying, and then Sosuke's mom is kind of crazy. But other than that, I mean, this movie it's adorable, and yes, it's for kids, but I don't think an adult would watch it and be bored. I think if you go into it, you know, wanting to just kind of have a simple story of, you know, 2 kids finding each other, even though they're from different worlds, and just beautiful animation. It's like, again, it's like The Little Mermaid, but for 5-year-olds and set in the modern day, more or less. And this is also, like I said last week, this is one of the more recent Miyazaki movies. This is from 2008. I think this is his second most recent film before The Wind Rises, if I remember correctly. So you can kind of tell, like, it benefits from that. Like, the colors pop a little bit more. The art direction and the cinematography of the movie is a little bit better than it is in the older Miyazaki movies. So yeah, all around, it's a fun time. It's a cute, adorable movie. It's visually just stunning. It has beautiful music. It has a talented voice cast. Like, there really aren't a lot of bad things to say about it. So you guys can keep hating on it all you want, but you just know that you're in the wrong on that front. So I'm going to give Ponyo a B+. Because I had about as much fun with it as I did with Porco Rosso, but I do think there are a couple of things that keep it from being on, like, the A tier. So next week, I think I'm going to do a kind of a double feature, so that way we're doing this in 10 parts. And I'm going to watch and review Kiki's Delivery Service and My Neighbor Totoro. So, hope you all had fun, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.
I don't care what you said. I still think it's The Little Mermaid for babies.
You're just mean. You're just a mean, sad...
It's nothing personal against Corinne. I was really excited about another Miyazaki movie, and I went to watch it, and I was just like, oh my god, this is so simple.
Can I ask you a personal question? When did the joy in your heart die?
When I was born.
Oh, okay. So this was never going to be a movie for you anyway. I like Ponyo. It's fine. I know it's for kids, but, you know...
Hey, he's allowed to make what he wants.
Beautifully drawn, tells the story properly, gets it done.
Yeah.
Has a catchy theme at the end. Ponyo, Ponyo.
But if you want to read more about what Corinne's thoughts are on the classics, she is also doing companion blogs about these movies on the website. Mm-hmm. And she's also doing a lot of articles on her Showtime segment.
Her article on rom-coms is one of the best things I've read on this website.
Yeah, it's pretty popular. So definitely go to the website, check those out. Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, it's perfect. Brad, what else do we do around here?
Speaking of around here, let's go around town with what I'm doing around town.
Hey, film buddies, follow me around Denver.
All right, Brad, what is going on around town?
This week at the drive-in, they're repeating the Toy Story 4 Godzilla, and Aladdin lineup.
Right on. So status quo for it. Gotcha.
I did it. It was fun.
There you go.
And then
remember, it's $9 for 3 movies, guys, and those are first-run features.
That's right. Under the Stars, fun consistent stands.
And great hamburgers, by the way. Those are great burgers for.
Are they?
Just like I ate. Like,
they got good pizza too.
I ate 3 of them for Avengers. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And the pizza's good too.
Yeah, they got pizza. They got cotton candy. They got
have
churros.
Have you had the fried dough?
Fried dough?
They do fried dough there.
You mean the funnel cake?
The funnel cake. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, sorry, my bad.
What did you eat, Zach?
I don't know, but I'm starting to feel a little tingly in my left arm.
You have like a little hot plate in the back of the car. You just get one of those cookie dough sheets and just put it on there and like
I also
singe it a little.
I also have a stovetop hat with the rim cut out, and then I've got a little big bushy beard and a can of baked beans off to the side. Call me Hobos East.
Yeah, and then this week, the Midnights at the Mayan are back. Or, not the Midnights. That's 20 years old. Midnights at the Esquire are back. Starting with Alien.
Ooh.
So I'll be checking that out.
Ridley Scott's Alien. Not Covenant. Not Prometheus, but Alien. It's fine if you like those other ones. But Alien.
Friday, Saturday at midnight at the Esquire. Definitely go see their new facility. Speaking of new facilities...
Ooh.
Between last episode and this one, I got to go see the new Alamo Draft House in Westminster.
Oh, you lucky bitch.
Which has an Art Deco Metropolis inspired look to it.
So tell me, why is it that they make a movie theater that's designed only for me, and they don't invite me, and they make the tour on a day that I have to work?
Are you a real nerd?
I am a real nerd.
Well, then you were invited.
Oh, so then it's just you guys chose not to tell me.
It was in the email.
Okay, then I'm just an idiot.
Yeah, you need to check your email.
Okay. Oh, well, I mean, you just confirmed what every doctor
I
told
got
me.
a personal email because I've been to 50-plus movies at the Alamo this year.
La-di-da.
So I got a separate invitation, but...
no, the photos you took were amazing, and the fact that we have a Metropolis inspired statue in a movie theater in Colorado is a testament to what the Alamo can accomplish.
Yeah, and so June 30th, which I think this will air after that, they've already started doing pre-screenings, training days.
Ooh.
So, go on there. I think they have discounts on food and admissions. Overall, the theater some screenings will be more expensive than you're used to because this theater, among the Denver ones, has a new feature called The Big Show. And that's basically like if you've ever been to the Cine Capri at Harkins. This is kind of like their version of it. It's not as big seating-wise, but it's their version of IMAX and Atomos. Or Atmos. So the sound system is, overkill, and the screen's bigger than... This is the biggest screen of all the Alamos in Denver. But it's pretty cool, and like the entrance is like this open mouth from Metropolis, like statue entrance thing. Yeah, sculpture. It's pretty sweet.
I'm just gonna head over there and break in now and take a look around.
And their lobby has basically a mini Mondo store. So
yeah, so if you're a Mondo fan, you're gonna want to check that out.
Yeah, T-shirts, pint glasses, vinyl records. Like they had the Back to the Future 2 one there, and I was like, I can't do $40 right now, but. Yeah,
someday.
It's great that I don't have to ship this. And Jaws socks. Some guy was buying the Thing board game, which I guess was out of print.
Oh, the Outbreak at Post 13 or something like that. Yeah, no, it's supposed to be a very fun board game.
Yeah, and apparently really rare, so he picked that up, obviously.
I think there's still copies of it available at the Littleton location, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about the Westminster location.
Yeah, so... go check it out. It's basically where the old Westminster Mall was.
So at this point, Alamo just needs to now make a Jack Benny themed Alamo right next to me, and then they'll have done absolutely everything they possibly could have done in Denver.
Yeah,
just right next to the house. Bulldoze all those other houses and just put it right there. But no, that sounds cool. Right on. What should we do next?
I guess we'll do some movie news.
Movie news.
It's real news.
We had some deaths. One related to one of your latest watches. The dad from Elf died. Actor Max Wright passed away at the age of 75. Like I say, he's been known as the dad from Elf. But he was also on other shows like Norm, Murphy Brown, Friends, Quantum Leap, Cheers, Taxi, Drew Carey Show. He was also he was in films too. He was in All That Jazz, Snow Falling on Cedars, Reds, The Sting 2, Soul Man, and Zach's personal guilty pleasure, The Shadow. So and he was Tony nominated. Like this guy ran the gamut. He was a professional actor. 75 years old, he will definitely be missed.
But it looks like Alf won that feud. 'Cause I heard they did not get along.
Didn't he strangle the puppet at one point?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
But yeah, Alf's going to outlive all of them.
But yeah, and then also Billy Drago passed away. He was the hitman Frank Nitti in Brian De Palma's
Son of Ivan Drago?
No, he wasn't the star of Creed 2.
The dad of Ivan Drago?
Maybe. We don't know what Drago's dad was. I just assumed Ivan Drago was just created
in
a factory. Yeah. Kind of like Scott Evil. Well, actually, no, that's not true because we found out he is actually Frau Forbis and his son. Anyway, we're talking about Billy Drago. He passed away. He was 73. He was Frank Nitti in Brian De Palma's Untouchables flick, which, it's one of the more noticeable hitmen in that movie. But he was also on Masters of Horror. He did an episode of Masters of Horror. And he worked with Clint Eastwood, Michael Jackson, Takashi Miike, and Chuck Norris. So he ran the gamut and a bunch of different stuff. So wonderful character actor. Began his career in Kansas radio as an Associated Press journalist. And then he had his own program and stuff. But, again, one of these guys, a journeyman who worked the gamut and did everything. So big bucket of win. Billy Drago will be missed. Maybe it makes me want to watch The Untouchables again and watch him in it. So on to the news of the day. So we got 2 trailers. We'll start with the fluff one, which is Charlie's Angels. And I don't mean that derogatorily. It's just because the other one has a little bit more baggage with it. But the Charlie's Angels one, Elizabeth Banks directing and apparently wrote the script for the Charlie's Angels reboot, which has Kristen Stewart, Naomi Scott, and Ella Balinska. It looks fun. It definitely feels different than the McG of it all from back in the day. So I don't know if that's going to piss off James or make James very excited for this movie. I like the idea of Elizabeth Banks being Bosley. Sounds like a lot of fun. And Patrick Stewart's in the trailer, but I have no idea what he's doing there. So I think
villain.
It sounds like he's heading MI6.
Bosley? No,
he'd be Charlie.
Yeah.
But Charlie doesn't sound like Patrick Stewart in the trailer. So, but I think Stewart's the head of MI6 or something because they recruit everybody for the Angels in the trailer. So, but it looks like fun, and I like seeing Kristen Stewart do things to try to break out of the mold that we unfortunately had to put her in with Twilight. But she's a solid actor, as is future Batman Robert Pattinson. So we'll see how but the trailer that has a little bit more loaded baggage is we got a trailer for The Current War with Benedict Cumberbatch and Michael Shannon, which is an Edison biopic. Or Edison Westinghouse feud biopic. The reason this has baggage is because this is one of the last films to be touched by noted monster Harvey Weinstein before the articles broke out that finally took that bastard down. This film was picked up. And
was
now
it touched with consent?
Boo.
Can't believe you just walked right over that.
Go home. Bad joke, Brad. No, but yeah,
You're
the film.
A bad joke.
I am a joke. But the film is being released, and apparently it has been restored to what the director wanted and not what Harvey wanted. So that is good news. Is that there is it's not like a silver lining necessarily, but it is good to know that this film that would have been otherwise mangled for some different purpose has now been constructed back into what it was supposed to be. So yeah, you want to check it out. It is not from a major distributor or anything. I think it's a smaller company putting it out. So this might end up being a VOD thing for all I know. But the trailer looked interesting. Definitely. Benedict Cumberbatch pulling some major action chops out of there, as is the eternally creepy Michael Shannon. So, there you go. You can watch those if you want. We'll move into a little TV news. The Office is being pulled from Netflix in 2021 because it's going to
insert Michael Scott yelling no meme.
And insert a zoom in of me as Jim looking like. You can't see it on the podcast.
Insert Jim face.
Yeah, and then Stanley going. But no, because it's going to the NBC Universal streaming service, and apparently, the Universal company that owned it got paid $500 million by NBC to buy the rights back. So if you haven't watched The Office on Netflix yet, be sure to watch it before 2021 because that's when it's going away for good.
Or just buy the DVDs.
Exactly. Physical media, guys, will not you will no longer be held hostage by the streaming service if you buy physical copies, which are relatively affordable if you go to Target. So
yeah, last time I checked that set, I saw it as 9 seasons. I think it was $40.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty good, and they still had all the bonus features and whatnot.
And you can do that for most series. I think like the most expensive series that I've seen there are like Star Trek ones, and it's just
not HD though. That's unfortunate. And I know from season 5 on they did HD. But I wish they would remaster the first 4.
Yeah, well, maybe
they're remastered on Netflix. They're zoomed in and cropped, I guess, but
they're holding you hostage. But you can like curtail them a little bit by accepting poorer quality. But I'm not selling the DVDs. Well, buy the DVDs. Also, the Scream TV show is finally going to be showing its 3rd season via VH1. It was. I'm trying to think of exactly. I'm trying to see exactly what happened here, but it left after season 2. Like they made a season 3, and then it just was never released. But now it's coming back to VH1, and apparently in the trailer you see the original Scream mask. So I didn't watch the Scream TV show. I like the movies. So if you're a fan of the Scream TV show, you might be able to check that out. I don't know. I don't watch VH1, so I have no idea if it falls in line with their programming. And lastly, for television, which is mostly streaming, the Star Trek Picard series has engaged Michael Chabon to be its showrunner, which I like this idea because I think Michael Chabon is a very talented fella. If you ever read a book called The Amazing Adventures of Caliber and Clay, he definitely has a good storytelling sense. So, I don't know what this means in terms of making a good Star Trek show, but,
It means they're still writing it. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I thought we had a trailer. We were ready to go with this.
Oh, no. That's an Indiegogo trailer. That's to make sure they got the funds for it,
Why would they need the funds? They're on CBS.
Well, there's no guarantee that these things are going to happen. This may be one big joke for all we know. It's like James with Preacher. Until he sees it physically in front of him, it doesn't exist. So for all we know, this is somebody trolling us.
Sure.
Like that trailer was just an elaborate multi-million-dollar trolling technique.
That's mean.
Yeah. Fuck CBS All Access. Why would they troll us like that? And then moving on, the Ghostbusters 2020 movie that I still really don't know what the heck's going on in it has Paul Rudd in it. So I now know it has Paul Rudd in it.
That's cool.
And the original cast, I guess, too. But so yeah, cool. There are also good Ghostbusters movies to watch. You can watch the first one, the second one, or that really cool 2016 film.
Should we all boycott it just to get revenge for the people who boycotted the female version?
I mean, to be honest, I go to see every movie anyway. So, but like,
I'm going to see it, but we'll just pretend that we're angry enough that we would not see it, just out of spite.
No, don't let the terrorists win. By terrorists, I mean the people who hated the first one or the first reboot. Cut that.
Don't tell me what to do.
I'm just kidding. I don't know. I mean, like, it's going to be a movie. I mean, Jason Reitman being behind it is interesting enough for me to want to watch it. But it still irks me a little bit that they even had to do this. But, business being what it is, they're going to do whatever they can to keep that IP going because Sony doesn't have a lot to hold on to other than Spider-Man. They do have Venom that they can hold on to.
It's interesting that they got Paul Rudd. I mean, I know he's like ageless, but he is almost 50. Or he is 50.
Maybe he's playing a ghost in it.
I can see if they were doing like a remake, he could pull off the Venkman part.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's like I think the goal, if you get this rebooted successfully, you want to make a franchise that keeps on going. So it's interesting that they would put him in the lead. Probably the lead. I don't know. Maybe he's not the lead. I don't know. But it feels like if you're going to announce it and get the hype going, that Paul Rudd's probably the lead.
I don't know. I mean,
speculating.
It's more than likely a movie we'll have to review at some point. So sure,
yeah.
But we'll talk about it then. In fun news, Taika Waititi is going to make a Flash Gordon animated movie for Disney, and that sounds fucking awesome.
Maybe you should finish one of his other things first.
Whoa! I've had problems with Taika Waititi. Hey, he's busy. He's getting things going. He's moving, buddy. He's moving. Why am I talking like that?
I don't know. How much more news do you got?
Not that much. AMC's putting out an artisan films label to boost smaller movies, and the first one they decided to boost was Yesterday, which is not really a small film. It definitely has some money behind it. So
yeah, it ruined my fantasy movie league this week.
Okay. You got a problem with Danny Boyle today?
Yeah. I put seven of Yesterday and one of I forget what else, but I'm in 4 leagues. I put 7 Yesterdays and then one other like small thing in my main lineup. I don't know how I even got in this league lineup, and then Real Nerds and Alamo. I did a different lineup that wasn't that, and they suffered. I think it was Toy Story 4 and Rocket Man.
So your point is that Danny Boyle should stop making movies. Is that your point?
He should stop making movies that people want to go see and then ruin my lineup.
Okay. Well, he's not going to do that. So sorry. But yeah, no, this label's basically like the Draft House recommends for AMC, essentially is what they're going to do. They're going to keep the movies in theaters longer than normal, and they're going to kind of boost the profile of them. I like this idea. I would love them to try to do it on an even smaller scale and maybe pick some films that aren't just like within the, like, because I mean, Yesterday is like, I think it's Focus or Universal, one of the two, but like it's not like it's a mid-range movie, which those do need boosting. But like, I'd love to see it for like even smaller films too. So it's a good idea. I hope it is able to expand in some capacity. And the last piece of news, guys, I want to reassure you that the Country Bear Jamboree won't be replaced at Disney World after all. It will not go away. So if you like those annoying dumb bears, go ahead. You could do it. I don't know what kind of person you are, but you could do it. So anyway, that's news.
Blu-rays? What are we going to buy this week?
Not a whole lot.
DVD releases and Blu-rays.
Yeah, it's literally there's only 2 actual new releases. The Best of Enemies, which is Taraji P. Henson and Sam Rockwell. You can pick that up. I haven't seen it. I'm curious about it, but I've heard it's not that great, but whatever. And then Escape Plan: The Extractors, which is Stallone and Batista and Jackson. And so, you can check that out. Curtis 50 Cent Jackson. But other than that, it's Vinegar Syndrome and Kino Lorber putting out stuff. Vinegar Syndrome's putting out Putney Swope, Taking Tiger Mountain, The Passing, Night Owl, and Kino Lorber's putting out Le Dolos, Les Professionnels, and Bob Le Flambleur. So all things that Ryan won't want to watch. Leon Maureen Priest.
God, I can hear him getting bored all the way from over here.
And The Outsider, which has Jean-Paul Belmondo. So yeah, you can check that out. And then also a film coming out called An Acceptable Loss, which has Tina Sumter and Jamie Lee Curtis. So hey, Jamie Lee Curtis is in another movie. Go ahead and check that out. Also, Emilio Estevez's film The Public, which I heard had mixed reception, but hey, maybe give it a chance. And other than that, there is nothing else but anime. Lots and lots of anime that I will never watch.
I'll let you know that the listings for the Iron Man Thor steelbooks finally went on Best Buy.
Oh,
so you can,
shit.
Unfortunately, they're only available for for shipping, so I'm not going to place an order just yet until they start putting them in stores.
There you go.
Because you do not want to ship a steelbook.
You do not
trust me.
You no ship to steelbook.
I did it twice, and both times they came dented, so I will wait till they populate the stores.
I was sad regarding a steelbook on Saturday because they ran out of the Us steelbook, so I was too late. At least at Park Meadows. I'm going to check at South Glen.
That's why you order online. You have it saved at the store. You go pick it up at your leisure.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry I'm not as cool as you.
Yeah, well, you'll learn, little one. You'll learn.
Little? Whoa. I know you're older than me, but whoa. Anyway, that's Blu-rays.
Yeah, well, they're also doing I didn't see this coming. They're doing a 4 steelbook set of the Avengers movies.
Yeah, but they're not doing an Infinity Saga big old bundle that I will never be able to afford, are they?
What?
Like all the films, like all 22 of them?
I probably at some point, but not this year, probably.
But so is that 4 film bundle for the Avengers? Is that all steelbook?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right,
it's like the Harry Potter set. It's like that that round box with the foam inserts and
the stands.
The thing is, the art for the steelbooks though is all the A's from the teaser posters, which
so
I
it's
wanted.
in unison,
huh?
So it's in unison with the theme.
Yeah, it's uniformity.
Yeah.
So, anyway,
no,
that's coming out. If you want to spend $150 on rebuying those in 4K,
I've already got Infinity War in 4K. I'll get Endgame in 4K. I'll be fine.
So yeah, I guess that brings us to what we've been watching.
So, this is the stuff we've been watching.
Brad, what have you been watching?
Yeah, Brad, what have you been watching?
I'm glad you asked.
Tell me what the fuck you've been watching.
So I went to the drive-in and I watched Toy Story 4 again for the second time.
Did it make you cry a second time?
It was a more, obviously I didn't have some asshole fucking talking through the whole thing, so that made the experience way more pleasant, and I got to experience all the emotional beats that I expected.
Right.
And yeah, it's great. I don't know. It's not the dynamic climactic sequence of 3. But I just think the concept of giving Woody his time to do his own thing, it's probably something that never crossed my mind. Like studying his motivation, like where
what's his purpose? What's his like? It's
there's the drive of toys in general to to help children.
It's questioning the sentience thing that's haunted the series the whole time, which is like, why can they come to life? And it doesn't answer it directly, but it like brings an emotional quality to it.
Yeah, or not how do they come to life, but like why do they come to life?
Why? What's the reason for that?
Godzilla, I got to rewatch because that's the second feature. I notoriously fell asleep through my first and only screening of it. And the second one filled in some of those gaps, but really didn't. I definitely missed a lot more than I thought I did. Because obviously a lot of those parts were the parts where we kind of get to understand the characters better.
Right.
But yeah, like it's really the only thing worth watching is the spectacle of it.
Right.
Actually, seeing more of the mother, daughter, father story. Didn't really like it. Actually seemed cheesier. And then I didn't watch Aladdin, so that was that. I left early. Let's see. Yeah, I guess that's it. The 50% off Criterion sale's going on, so I picked up the Police Story.
Did you manage to watch any of them? Or
yeah, Police Story 1. Looks great.
Yep.
It's a fun movie. It went by way faster than when I watched it in the theater. And yeah, that end fight sequence in the mall is just one of the cinema's greatest action sequences ever.
Is it split up like a disc for each one kind of thing, or did they dual-side it? Or
it's a paper box. It has like most of them they slide in from the side. This one is a slip cover that kind of slides over the whole thing, like Mr. Shows.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And so yeah, it comes out and it's a trifold, but 2 of them are the discs for each movie.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, it's a beautiful set.
Perfect. But
yeah, it's weird because like each of the Criterions I'm getting now are a different package. Like for a while there, it was all just clear jewel cases, and then like Princess Bride's a book. Night of the Living Dead is a paper slide out.
Yeah.
Fantastic Mr. Fox is a paper slide out, but it's like twice as thick, and it has like another book in it. So I don't know. Like
you picked the complicated ones.
As far as uniformity goes, my Criterion wall is just like up and down. Anyway.
Hey, I'll throw you for a loop. When I got the Guillermo del Toro trilogy, it's not even the shape of a traditional box, so it just sticks out like a sore thumb.
Yeah,
but it makes it unique.
Yeah, I guess that's it.
Yeah, you weren't alone. I picked up the Night of the Hunter Criterion, the UCLA restoration from 2010, and boy, that thing looks amazing. But anyway,
I feel like I'm missing something, but whatever.
Yeah.
What did you watch?
I watched a bunch of stuff in the interim, so sit tight, guys. I rewatched Rear Window. for the Hitchcock series. And you can hear what I thought about Rear Window on the new Shamley Silhouette, which will be coming later in the week. My guest is Aaron Pendergast, who's been on the show before, and he sat down with me to chat about Hitchcock, Rear Window, and the tiny meticulous details in Hitchcock for about an hour and a half. So it's a fun little segment that'll correlate with the articles that'll be going into part 2 of that series. I went and saw Rocket Man, which I loved. I loved it a lot.
Really?
I think, well, one, this is a big step up from...
Let me try to change your mind. Just
no.
kidding.
Stop it. What are you, my sister? No, I really liked it.
Wait, is your sister not like Elton John?
She saw it last night and she didn't like it.
Okay.
And I was not going to try to convince her. I mean, like, in the realm of biopic, yes, it follows the same beats as, like, Bohemian Rhapsody, but... it is creative and unique.
It's more of a musical.
It's a musical, but it's creative and unique in its approach on how to hit those beats in a more dynamic way. And I think that the story itself, or at least the way it's being performed, is much more compelling than what Bohemian Rhapsody accomplished. Like, there's more to dig into emotionally in Rocket Man. I am able to sit with those characters and understand them better. Taron Egerton is great in this fucking flick. He is wonderful. This is, coming from having seen him in the 2 Kingsman movies, like, this is a whole 180 degree. And Jamie Bell is amazing as his partner. I think they do really good work together in the movie. So anyway, yeah, Rocket Man is a great flick. I would definitely check it out. It's shorter. I think it's shorter than Bohemian Rhapsody, actually. I don't know, but it felt like an experience, but it didn't, like, prolong itself too much or feel too short either. Like, it was just the right amount of time. It was pretty perfect in that respect. I would check it out. It's a pretty wonderful film. I went through Friday the 13th, part 4, 5, and 6 again. Cause, like, the last time I went through Friday the 13th movies, I stopped at 3 because of just whatever reason. So Friday the 13th part 4, or Friday the 13th, the final chapter, as Ryan will put it. Still a fun flick, got Corey Feldman hacking Jason at the end with a machete. Crispin Glover getting laid and then asking where the corkscrew is, and then Jason shows him where the corkscrew is. I noticed in that film, I think Jason's just a frustrated comedian because he seems to hit every punchline very well. Like, anytime somebody asks a question, he has an answer, like a vaudeville comic. It's pretty awesome. Like, Ted, where's the corkscrew? Here's your corkscrew. Like, stuff like that. He has a good call and response to that. You know what I'm saying? Then I watched Friday the 13th part 5, The New Beginning, which is really just Roy's radical rampage of revenge. If you don't know this is the movie that doesn't have Jason in it. It has Roy, the paramedic, as the killer. It's still bad, but it does have. If I pretend that Roy is actually Jason, there's some interesting Jason kills. But it also is, like, just filled, like, it's nothing but a sea of boobs and stuff like that. It's directed by Danny Steinem, who was a porn director, so it's just it focuses too much on one factor and not on another factor, and it is poorly directed. Although there are moments in the film that are interesting, but they are not executed quite correctly. It's kind of hard to describe. And also it does a disservice to Tommy Jarvis as a character because it kind of turns him into nothing, which sucks. But Friday the 13th part 6, Jason Lives, immediately corrects that and turns it into a fun movie. Tom McLaughlin's masterpiece, obviously. It's still a fun flick, and it's a soundtrack all done for the most part by Alice Cooper, so you can't go wrong there.
Except Tommy Jarvis. Why dig him up?
He had to be sure. And I think he wanted to scare Rorschach from Welcome Back, Kotter. I think he really wanted to do that. But yeah, no, I mean, it's still a fun flick. I mean, like, my favorite parts of the films are the fact that, like, there's kids in the camp for the first time in this series, like actual kids in the camp, and one of the lines, like, where they keep cutting back to the kids, like, oh, like, we're dead, like, totally dead, and one of the kids goes like, so what did you want to be when you grew up? And just the different cut-arounds and stuff like that. Like, it's a very self-aware, smart movie. It's Scream before Scream, so it was fun revisiting it. I in preparation for one of our movies this week, I finally sat down and watched the first 2 Annabelle films. So I saw the first Annabelle, which has problems. I think it's pretty aimless and doesn't know exactly what it wants to do. It's got great concepts. The plot of the first Annabelle spinoff is the Annabelle doll comes into the possession of a young couple who's about to have their kid, and kind of like it just infiltrates their lives via that in the 60s. And it ties into the cult craze mentality, like the killer cult phenomenon. There's a bit of Manson chicanery going on in the opening scenes of the film involving a girl who's obsessed with the doll. I think the film has a hard time targeting what stylistically it wants to do. Like this, it feels like this movie really wants to be Rosemary's Baby, but has no idea how to be Rosemary's Baby, or like The Omen, or any kind of child possession film of that nature. But Alfre Woodard is in it, and she's good. So give Alfre Woodard more things to do. See Star Trek First Contact for that. But I watched Annabelle Creation right after that, and that movie's really good. And by the end of it, makes the first Annabelle somewhat more cohesive and better. Annabelle Creation is basically the origin of the doll. The doll was created by Anthony LaPaglia and his wife Miranda Otto, who are basically just a couple living out in, like, it seems like the Midwest in the 40s, and their daughter dies in a car crash, and then jump years later, a group of orphan girls come to live at the house where Anthony LaPaglia has become kind of like a hermit, and he takes care of his wife Miranda Otto, who's an invalid at this point, and stuff starts happening around the house. The doll is involved. It's a very small scale, intimate Annabelle movie that really taps into, like, the first Annabelle I don't feel like really taps into the characters as well as this one does. This one really makes you feel for the characters. Like, one of the lead girl, who is a prominent part of the story, is stricken by polio at the beginning, so she's got a disability, so she already feels like the weaker one, and so therefore that's her reasoning for why the spirit is seeking her out, is because she's the weakest. And there's a lot of like discussions about faith and stuff like that. But it's a slick 1 hour and 43 minutes that tells a really good story, and the ending of the film ties into the first Annabelle really well. So that's something that you'll want to check out if you want to do catch up on the Annabelle and the Conjuring universe series, definitely. And then the last thing that I saw was a little film from Mick Garris, Critters 2 Mick Garris, called Nightmare Cinema. Nightmare Cinema is an anthology film consisting of 5 segments by 5 different directors. So you have Mick Garris, you have Joe Dante, you have David Slade, you have Alejandro Brugues, who did Juan of the Dead, and then you have Rahio Kitamura, who did The Midnight Meat Train. And the basic wraparound of the film is that it's about a projectionist played by Mickey Rourke, who is the curator of, I think it's 1,000,000 Nightmares and 1,000 Souls. And he basically, people will wander into the theater, they'll see their nightmare or their biggest fear, and then he collects their soul, and they're not, and just basically they die. So that's the catalyst for the anthology element of it, which is seeing these different dreams on the screen, which are the different shorts. Right from the get-go, this anthology sets itself out to be one of the most inventive and fun in years. Alejandro's is the first one, and it's basically a loving homage to Evil Dead slasher movies and also alien invasion movies. And it's a fun, crazy, hyperactive experiment in how to hit every story beat within the span of, like, it seems like 15 minutes, and it works really well. It's super funny. The second segment is Joe Dante, and it seems like it's an homage to the plastic surgery episode in the Twilight Zone, but it's taken to like a cranked up degree. Like, take that episode and dial it up to 1,000. And it has Richard Chamberlain in the story playing the plastic surgeon, so that's kind of funny. And the final result is this makeup kind of deal that's bonkers. And then you have Kitamura's segment, which takes place in a Catholic school. And I don't want to spoil this one because it gets batshit crazy, and to spoil it would be a disservice. And then David Slade's segment, which is it feels like a Lynchian affair shot in black and white, that is based apparently off of a concept that he was trying to develop into a feature, and then Mick Garris asked him if he could do it into a smaller segment for the Nightmare Cinema. And then the final one is Mick Garris's, which is very much it has a Sixth Sense quality to it, but it also just feels like a lot of the Mick Garris Stephen King adaptations where there's a heart to it, but there is a genuine terror to it. Why I say that this is one of the most inventive and fun anthologies in years is because it's one of the few anthologies that I've seen where there's no bad segment in Nightmare Cinema. And therefore it's very hard for me to pick a favorite. If I really had to narrow it down, I'd say Kitamura's segment was the most insane and what the fuck. Slade's is the most interesting, and Dante's and Alejandro's are the most inventive and fun, and then Mick Garris's is the most heartwarming. So there's different ways to describe them. So I had a lot of fun with this, and the wraparound's really fun. Mickey Rourke looks like he's having a fun time doing it. It almost seems like he's not there that often, but I like that because if we get more, we can maybe go down into him a little bit more. Apparently they want to do this as a TV show, so I would love to see them be able to tackle this further and get more directors, because the original concept apparently, because I had listened to him talk about it on Postmortem, he wanted to do basically Masters of Horror as an international affair, where he got different directors from different countries to do this, and this is basically what he was able to do with it at the time. So Nightmare Cinema, check it out. You can't see it in theaters right now, unfortunately, but it is on Prime or on Amazon Video and iTunes to rent or to buy. I would check it out, and heck, if you could find a way to get it into your local theater, please do, and then I'll come and watch it again, because I fucking had fun with this flick. So anyway, that's all I watched this week.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Because...
I also watched Everything Ever.
Oh, wow. I don't think we have time for that.
So we're going to right now. Citizen Kane, one of the greatest... No.
Stop. I control the switchboard. No, but we're going to come back to you, because this week you watched Annabelle's forgettable subtitle.
Annabelle Comes Home, guys.
Annabelle Comes Home. Zach, should people go see Annabelle Come Home?
Well, first of all, this title isn't forgettable because it's very important to the plot. Yes, I would go see Annabelle Comes Home. This was actually this may be one of my favorite things about the Conjuring universe, or entries in the Conjuring universe. This is basically a John Hughes movie, or a high school party movie with ghosts in it and demons and shit. It's a fun affair, and it's a little low stakes, but I appreciate that, so I get a nice little ghost story going on. The performances are wonderful, and I like seeing Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga coming back and doing some stuff, so yes, I would definitely check out Annabelle Comes Home.
Here's the trailer for Annabelle Comes Home.
What's this?
You folks need to turn around. Pretty bad accident up ahead.
Anything we can do?
You a doctor or something?
Or something.
Nice doll.
That's what you think. Did it work?
The evil is contained.
How could you not tell me you're babysitting for the Warrens tonight?
And we'll be back early tomorrow morning.
Have fun. Don't your parents keep any creepy stuff around?
We keep it all locked away in a room. It's not good for anyone to go in there. My dad says that everything in there is either haunted, cursed, or used in some ritualistic practice.
What's that?
The ferryman. They put coins all over the eyes of the dead so he could take their souls.
What about the doll that's in there?
Annabelle. She's in a case for a reason.
Can Annabelle come out to play? No.
Annabelle is the beacon for other spirits.
Mrs. Warren?
Mom, is everything okay?
Something is happening inside your house, and we're not really sure what to do.
Can I speak to Annabelle?
I'm sorry?
You need to give her a soul, dear. She wants a soul.
So, Brad, you are not familiar with the Conjuring universe at all, whatsoever, are you?
Did I see?
I can't remember if you told me you saw the first
I
Conjuring.
don't know, because Patrick Wilson's also in the Insidious one too, so they all look the same to me.
Wow.
I'm not wrong.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
You are wrong. Sorry, what am I saying? You are wrong. Insidious.
The Conjuring, the Nun, the Insidious stuff, they all look the same.
Insidious is Lee Wannell and James Wan doing their thing, and then The Conjuring is James Wan and Gary Doberman doing their thing.
Well, they should have cast different people, because it looks like the same fucking movie with Patrick Wilson in it.
These just whatever. Anyway, you know what? It's cool because Patrick Wilson gets to be part of two great Ghost franchises. And Jean-Claude Van Damme has done how many horror franchises? None. That's right. Excuse me.
Are you sure?
I don't know. Has he?
He's got some French films that I can't get my hands on.
It's going to stay that way, I guess. I don't know. But no, Annabelle comes home. So if anybody listening out there, if you're familiar with the Annabelle series as I described it earlier and what we've been watching, at this point, Annabelle comes home, starts off with the acquisition of Annabelle by the Warrens, which you do see in the first film. It then cuts a year later. They've already put Annabelle in the case, have it blessed once a week. That's part of the shtick from the first film, it's a wonderful shtick. And the movie doesn't really involve Ed and Lorraine. It involves their daughter Judy, and they basically leave for something. I don't remember what they're leaving for. Maybe another case. But they have Judy's babysitter come to stay the weekend with her. And Judy's babysitter, Ellen, has a friend named Daniela who really wants to come into the Warrens' house to see the artifact room, which at first it seems like she's trying to make fun of the Warrens and tease them. But what you find out is that Daniela is genuinely interested in finding the artifact room because she wants to find a way to contact her recently deceased father, because she feels guilty thinking that she might have killed him in the car wreck that they were in, or that it was her fault. So right away, everything that I'm expecting Annabelle Comes Home to be in terms of a typical by the numbers manages to grab me emotionally from different aspects. All the characters in this film are extremely likable. From Judy, the daughter of the Warrens, to the babysitters, to the boy that the babysitter has a crush on. It's just a lovely film. And I found a way to describe the film. The film is, some of the high school party movies, like high school sex comedies, where they're just like, we're gonna have a party, but oh shit, my parents are coming home, we've got to clean up. And it's basically that, but with ghosts. And it does that really well. There's no high stakes in this film other than the lives, I guess, in the house. But in terms of the whole universe, it's a very insular affair. And it's one of those horror films that has an optimistic ending that I really appreciated. I do like my dreary ending and, feeling in sorrow, but I do like to feel uplifted. And this one manages to take you through hell and then bring you out clean on the other side to a degree. And there's some great scares in it. It introduces a lot of different concepts into the Conjuring universe that I enjoy seeing visually. How they'll work in future segments has yet to be seen. Like I said, it proves that this is the one universe outside of Marvel that I enjoy watching the most, because it's a creative realm that allows horror filmmakers or horror enthusiasts to play around in. And it's like a fun little sandbox, and they get a decent amount of money to do them, like not a bunch, but enough to do some fun stuff. And the visual effects and horror effects in this film are pretty phenomenal. There's only one or two things that look a little too CGI-y, but the majority of it is kept enough in the shadows that it has a realistic feel. And for all I know, some of them are practical, because I thought the Crooked Man from Conjuring 2 was CGI, and it turns out that's a practical effect combined with an actual actor. So, you never know. The Conjuring universe tends to throw me for a loop sometimes on that. And Patrick Wilson, you don't get to hear him too thoroughly, but he does play guitar at the end of the film. So if you're a fan of that from Conjuring 2, you'll like this film. So I enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun. And I saw it first in my double feature before the next film we're going to talk about. And so I came off the high of this film, and then we get to Chucky.
Yay, solo reviews.
Yeah.
Kind of tough. Yeah, sorry.
No, it's fine. No, dude, it's fine. Like, I hope people go see it, because I do want the Conjuring series to keep going. The only one in the series I haven't seen is The Curse of La Llorona, and it's the only because I was stupid enough to not think this was part of the Conjuring universe. But Brian saw it and said it was, and I need to check it out.
I mean, it's not supposed to be. It's a Spanish fable, so.
But I guess it's part of it.
They appropriated it. Anyway, so we saw another movie this week. We saw Child's Play.
Child's Play 2019.
2019. Zach, should people see Child's Play 2019?
I think you can rent it if you're really that wanting to. I don't think this is a bad movie. I think my bias there must be a bias in me on this, because I didn't have fun. I think that the film has a problem having the fun it wants to think it's having. So, like, it's tough to describe, but, like, we'll get to it in the review. But I really like Mark Hamill in the movie, but I don't think they give him enough to do as a voice actor. I think the animatronics look cool. I just think that the overall concept of turning Chucky into an AI system is a little misguided. But there are things to like about this film, and I'll definitely talk about them in the review. Brad, should people see Child's Play 2019 starring the great Mark Hamill?
First of all, the promos ahead of it, $89 for a VHS of Child's Play. You didn't watch that? Oh, you went to AMC.
Yeah, I went to AMC.
At the Alamo, the pre-show, they did commercials of Chucky from the 90s, when they...
Right, yeah.
And there was like this long promo, which I assume was like for a trade show promo.
Yeah.
For the VHS release, and the VHS was $89.
Batman 89 was around that price. If you listen to some older podcasts, they talk about that.
Holy shit. Yeah. I mean, I'm used to them being $20 towards the end of their life cycle, so I know some of them were expensive early on, but I mean, that was just 1990.
People wanted their Chucky tape, man.
I guess, yeah.
It was always disappearing and reappearing on the grocery store shelves, man. That's how I know it was popular.
Can you imagine being a VHS collector in 1990 and being like, "Yep, $90 for home entertainment." I'll just get out my cash.
No, I prefer Laserdisc. It's the superior format.
Anyway, the movie itself, yeah, it's I don't know. I was pretty bored throughout it. The concept of Chucky being an AI malfunction, intentional malfunction, I guess, is okay. I just Mark Hamill. It's the serial killer being implanted in a doll is a way more interesting.
Yep.
Concept that you can do more with.
Mm-hmm.
Having him as an AI, that's really. We'll talk about it more, but it just kind of hamstrings him into being if he feels less menacing.
Yeah.
And then the end seems really edited, characters just kind of come out of nowhere. And stuff just kind of happens. It feels like the movie is kind of over itself before it gets to the finale. They just kind of run out of we're done with this idea. Let's just get to the end.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's you could skip it. Yeah, I'm okay. It's fine. It's fine.
All right.
So here's the trailer for Child's Play 2019.
At Caslon, We believe that happiness is about more than entertainment. It's about being known, understood, loved. Introducing your new best friend.
People, let me tell you about my best friend.
Chucky?
So right off the bat, they changed the story. Instead of a serial killer being like magically implanted in this,
you can say it. It's voodoo.
Into a doll. A sweatshop worker in Vietnam who is falling behind in his work
and upset because he's being treated like a fucking slave.
He's getting yelled at by his boss.
Yeah.
Decides, hey, I'm going to take down all the safeguard programming of this doll,
and then I'm going to commit suicide,
and then jump out the window. And it's just like, I mean, you could just jump out the window. You don't have to like disable.
Well, it was an act of revenge,
but like, his boss isn't getting the doll. The doll's getting shipped to America. Like, who's
because he might feel disgruntled by the fact that he's making this toy for some first world kid, like, you know, or first world family, like.
Then show his resentment. Then show his resentment towards America. But the movie only shows that he's just kind of bummed out by his boss.
So
it seems indirect.
Again, though, this movie doesn't flesh out a lot of details that it should.
Yeah,
and that's an area that you could do a lot in. For any movie, not even a Child's Play movie, but any movie. And they kind of just use it as an excuse of how the doll gets evil instead of expanding on it. Like, I mean, like...
When he's the serial killer, it's clear his motivation is revenge.
Or, well, not even revenge. It's get a new body and be able to live again and kill a bunch of people while doing it.
Yeah.
Oh, and get back at that one guy that betrayed him.
And then also, the end of the movie spoils that... more dolls have been deprogrammed.
Yeah.
So it's like, so all these questions start popping up. Are there other disgruntled workers in the sweatshop deprogramming them, or is it just like obviously it's just a tease, like
or do the events of.
But in the actual story, it's like, how can there be another doll that's also murderous, and why haven't they already killed yet?
Yeah. Well, and again, nothing's terribly defined in the film.
Yeah, but it's frustrating to watch because I'm like,
no, the main story of the film with Andy and Aubrey Plaza as his mom it's obviously the central focus, but that even wavers a little bit, and
then the relationship between Andy and the doll.
I will say that could have been more interesting.
Yeah, because they don't really play up, like if they had, because the AI system really wants to kind of do its job.
Mm-hmm.
If Andy had rejected it more, I think it would have been more compelling, because then it would give him more reason to go after Andy.
Yeah.
And make him be his friend.
Yeah.
But instead he just kills other people.
Yeah.
And it annoys Andy.
Yeah, it's like we were friends, but now I need to impress you more to be even more your friend, which is...
And then Andy's got those sociopath friends who are just like their first after Buddy or the Buddy doll kills, or Chucky does the first killing.
Yeah.
Their instinct is not to tell people. They're like, let's engage in a cover up.
Yeah. And again, they're, by the way, they're ill developed. They are the definition of underdeveloped sidekick, if you've ever heard one. Like, there's an attempt here to make it like a losers club type of vibe that just obviously doesn't work. Or I guess the Netflix term would be Stranger Thingsing it or whatever.
Yeah.
But and on top of that too,
there's a Stranger Things kid in it.
Oh, which? That's right. No, never mind.
I forget his name, but he's the one who inherits Chucky.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. No, he plays the kid who has the Buddy doll after Andy.
Yeah.
And calls him a different name and trying to get him to say this is for Tupac. See, that's the thing. There are some funny moments in this film, though, for a Child's Play movie remake.
What was that other name was funny. What was it? it's like garbage or something. What do you call it? What do you name Chucky?
I can't remember.
Doofus or something?
I don't remember. But it's Stranger Things kid that gives him a different name.
That's what I'm trying to remember what that name was.
Like Colton or something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah.
It's like a C word or something.
This is kind of funny. Anyway.
But I like how he tells him, the Stranger Things kid tells him, like, hey, salute your master. And just like gives him a salute. The robotics in this film are fun, though. I will say, like, it is a fun, like, there is. And
his face, though, is
yeah.
weird.
It's way more off-putting than the good guy doll in the first film ever was. Like, even when Chucky's mad in the original films, it feels believable. This feels like they had no idea how to properly give. It's that thing of we want realism, but realism can be off-putting. Like, anthropomorphizing it is better in this scenario.
There was one shot, I think, when Chucky the first time he finds a knife and takes it, the arm is CGI, and it's really bad.
Oh, yeah. But I'm glad that they used animatronics for a big chunk of it, the film. Like, because they didn't have to do that. Like, that is immediately something in the CG era that would have immediately been, like, glossed over and done with. Like, we wouldn't even have had the robot. So I'm thankful that they did something with it. But, like, at the very end, it becomes CGI crazy. Like, it almost looked like a somewhat weird version of that Ready Player One Chucky that stabs people in the final battle in the game.
Yeah, but overall, like, all the dolls are so hideous. Like, it's a wonder they're even that popular.
Yeah,
like the bear version. Oh my god, it looks like a burnt child.
Yeah, I again, like, there's an idea here, and maybe this is my problem. But I don't feel like if you wanted to do a concept like this, okay, cool. Don't drag Chucky into it. Like, find a way to do it your own way on a lower scale, or like I know they're relying on IP, and I know that that's one of the only things that Orion and MGM have at this point in terms of IP to work with. At least until Bill and Ted Face the Music makes $1 billion at the box office and fulfills every dream of mine. But, you know, this concept would have been better if it didn't have Chucky attached to it. Because, lest we forget, we've got 2 great Chucky movies that were direct-to-video that were fun to watch, where it was Curse of Chucky or Cult of Chucky. You know, like, yes, they may not be, like, the pinnacle of horror, but they are good Chucky movies. You know, the rat poison scene in Curse of Chucky is still amazing horror. Or, like, good horror. But, like, anyway, my point is that I don't feel like you needed to drag the Child's Play legacy into this particular concept. I think you could have done something fairly similar to your initial story without dragging the Chucky name into it.
Yeah, like,
or the Buddy doll too. Yeah,
like in 2019, it makes sense to use that concept of him being like an AI that can control other things, but being a serial killer is way more interesting as a character.
You lose the character.
He has more charisma.
My problem because I like Mark Hamill in the movie. I think he does a fine job. My problem is the way they wrote Chucky. Because the way they wrote Chucky was that he just basically repeats things other people say or anything that's programmed into him. He has absolutely no personality. Even when he's... by the time we get to the end, he doesn't really have a personality. He does sound like just a killer robot. He does not sound like a... There's a joke on a show that Henry and I listen to whenever they review a Child's Play movie, but Chucky does usually do this thing when he goes to kill somebody. He goes like, "Arr!" Like when he lunges at somebody, and in this he's just kind of like, meh! And I'm like, it's like, so what? It's your robot. Like, there's no character behind it. I will say, the scene where the lady has the self-driving car that Chucky manipulates and has it run into the poles and stuff. My favorite kill in the movie is when he's taunting her over the intercom of the car and then goes like, peekaboo! And then just like, that is a good Chucky moment. But there's nothing else like that in the film. Like, even the mom's boyfriend kill, as fun as it is, it seems like it's missing the comedic punchline at the end. Because I know it's just AI Chucky repeating the thing he heard before to make it a punchline. I'm like, it's just not working the way a Chucky film should. Like, you know, like it's a moment that Ryan talks about in the first Child's Play from the 80s that is really good, which is, the mom shaking the doll, saying something, say something, and then he goes, "I'll fucking kill you, you fucking bitch." And that's a moment that does scare you and creates a character for Chucky. And I don't feel I get this at all. Like there's also there's not really good scares in this film. Like it's a very much a slasher film that is running by the numbers. It has no real personality to it.
Yeah, and also by making him an AI, it almost feels like there's a part of all the kills that are accidental. Mm-hmm. Like when he's a serial killer, he's intentionally like, "I'll kill you, fucking bitch."
Yeah.
When it's an AI, it's like, okay, well, yeah, he's killing people, but like the machine's just broken.
Yeah, that's another thing. Is it sympathy or empathy for Chucky? Because he doesn't know that he's doing something wrong because he thinks he's doing something right to be Andy's friend. There's a reason for Chucky to kill, and that's weird. Or a reason that lies in emotion and not diabolical psychotic bullshit. OG Chucky, I'm a rapper now. OG Chucky, has a purpose for killing, but it's such a selfish purpose that it feels too random. This one feels like it's like a robot trying to find love and affection in the world, and I'm like, that doesn't belong in a Chucky movie, does it? But I went in open-minded, and I walked out going that's about as good as I expected it to be. And it sucks because I like Mark Hamill doing voice work, and I think he does really good in this, but I do think that they don't give him enough to do.
His song at the end is pretty creepy.
Oh yeah. And I should mention at least Bear McCreary killing it in the musical scores this year, because his work on the score is one of the standouts of the movie. I think it's a great Child's Play score for any kind of Child's Play movie you'd want to make.
You stayed all the way to the end, right?
No, I didn't.
His song,
yeah,
as it gets closer to the motion picture symbol, it gets creepier and sinister. He drops his voice and gets deeper.
Oh yeah, because I heard the version on YouTube because the soundtrack got released. But it gets But yeah, no, like Michael said, McCreary killing it between Godzilla and Child's Play. That guy needs to keep doing some movies. I'd like to see him do a Marvel movie. So yeah, don't see Child's Play 2019.
Or see it. It's up to you.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna tell
exactly.
you what to do.
What the fuck who the fuck are we?
Just saying you might be disappointed.
Yeah, if you're a Child's Play fan, I think you're gonna walk in a little shortchanged. If you don't know what the fuck a Chucky movie is, maybe you'll have fun. Again, I went in with baggage that wasn't gonna go away no matter what. And I'm not saying that it's impossible to like this movie. All withstanding criticism aside and devotion to the Chucky series, as a film, it is well produced, well executed. It's pretty efficient. It's only about an hour and 24 minutes. So, it's a nice quick watch. That's why I say it's a good rental. But I don't know if you need to spend $10 to watch it. But again, just me.
So next week we should have a whole gang here for Spider-Man Far From Home.
Yep. Spider-Man
Comes Home.
Spider-Man Homeward Bound: The Incredible Journey.
Annabelle Homecoming.
Oh, what if Spider-Man has to fight Annabelle?
No.
And the insidious monsters.
So yeah,
and the people from the trench in Aquaman.
So Spider-Man next week, pretty big event. Comes out on a Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday, July 2nd, yeah.
And we should have some new Coke in the house finally, because I totally...
Whoa. We don't do drugs on this show.
Next week we are.
Wait. How do you differentiate between new Coke and old Coke? It's all white powder. Oh, you're talking about new
soda.
Coke.
Yeah.
See. Yeah, see. There,
I'm anxious to find out what the fuss is about.
Yeah.
How different does it taste?
Let's see what lasted for 6 months and then went promptly away.
Yeah. The greatest marketing gimmicks of all time.
Yeah. Yeah, stay tuned for our review of Stranger Things and what the tie-ins mean.
Stay tuned for our review of Coke.
Coke cast.
Yeah. Until next week.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Real Nerds Podcast. Real Nerds Podcast is a production of Nebulous Visions Multimedia. Thank you to Sparks Mandrill and Plan 9 Studios for our kick-ass theme song. Also, if you're in the Denver area and you're looking for a cool place to see movies, we see them at the Alamo Draft House in Littleton and now also in Sloan's Lake. Thank you to Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics for supplying us with all our comic needs, especially you, Andrew. You know who you are. And a big shout out to James's mom. I'm giving you an electronic hug that you can feel through the airwaves. Thanks for listening, and have a nice day.